Welcome, everybody, to another episode of CampVantage. Is it really an episode? Actually, I'm not sure. It's a live call meant to facilitate peer-to-peer discussion between everybody here on artificial intelligence, robotics, AI, things of that nature. And the goal here is to have all of you people hopefully participate in a discussion about some of the wins, some of the losses, some of the things that you struggle with AI. We'll work through some issues together. We'll figure out problems. We're kind of still figuring out our cadence for the show and how we want it to operate. I also haven't really done a ton of promotion for it because we're going to have 2 weeks off for the holidays and all that stuff. And so we'll start some of that in early 2026 and try to get some more people on here together to collaborate and to figure out what some of the amazing possibilities are with artificial intelligence. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, our kind of format here is we'll take about 5-10 minutes and I'll talk about some of the latest AI news, robotics news, automation, cool things, stuff like that, technology. And then we will hopefully get some guest participation here with questions and answers, things that you've done, questions you've wanted to ask about AI, things like that. If we don't get that participation, we'll do because we've for the first 2 weeks people have been shy. We will do a couple demos. So I've got a couple things prepared on some practical takeaways that you can do at your campground with tools like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. And then we'll wrap up with like a couple more demos and things like that. Just the whole intention here is to be valuable for you guys. The content is recorded. We will put it on YouTube as soon as I get to it. Other than that, let's kind of get started here. So I've got a couple things I want to share with you today. It's kind of a quiet December so far for bigger AI news that you guys are interested in from a small business perspective. But let's see what we have here. This one is particularly interesting for campground owners, I thought. This is a company called Crest Voyager, but there's actually, I think Honda has one of these too. And these are coming out all over the place. So almost all of you have in some form or fashion had to mow the lawn at one of your properties. This is an interesting new concept that's coming to fruition where you just have to train it once and then it knows everything about your entire, in this case, yard, but much more of a broader space at your campground too. So let's check this out.
So we're here today with Crest's new Voyager commercial 40-inch mower. I do know there's tons of technology, everything from RTK to camera systems, but I'm going to try to flip this thing up and test it and see what I can figure out.
Switching to manual mode.
And we are mapping. Shows my area that I need to be in. Super simple. Boom. Shows you it's done. You click on done, save to maps. Gives you different cut patterns. From there, we just simply hit the mowing button here and OK, and the mower should go. Yeah, so already, I mean, this thing is just so impressive. As you can see, it's making systematic mowing pass as we speak, where it did its loop, now it's coming back, and it's literally going back and forth. I mean, this thing is zooming. So already just seeing this mower perform, I mean, it's literally mapping itself around this flower bed here without me creating a stay out zone. So it just goes to show like the technology is here. This is gonna definitely like change how we think about sending out crews. Instead of a 3 or 4 person crew, you can literally just have crew now that only has to weed whack or edge. And then they can just let the mower do its job. If we're going to go autonomous and we're going to use robotics, like this is what we need. We need the technology where it can see obstacles for safety for the guys, safety for the customer, safety for animals. Crest has just done an amazing job. I mean, coming out a few years ago with all their battery equipment, and here they are now with the robotic mower. As we're talking, it's here, it's mowing. I mean, they've done just such an amazing job. It's so fast. Elevating that industry to the next level and coming out with this technology. I mean, this is what guys like us need. This is what's going to change the future. That's so cool, man. That's just wild.
So the idea here is just to, again, show you some things to pique your perspective. We're going to talk mostly about AI here. We're going to talk mostly about things that we could do on ChatGPT, but there are a lot of things changing with robotics and smart intelligence that's driven by this whole AI world. And what we want to make sure of here is that you guys are staying on top of this and taking advantage of what you can in your businesses today, because this isn't stuff that's going to have to wait 4, 5, 10, 20 years. This is stuff that's coming out now as a result of that. So I believe that's available for purchase now. It came out a month ago, but there are other ones that I saw also from Honda and some other companies too that are very interesting. So, all right, let's see. I'm going to take us down to not a place where not many campgrounds are for a second. I just have a couple videos today. This is from Miami, Florida. But I want you to imagine using one of these things at your campground to deliver firewood or to deliver marshmallows or anything from your store, and the convenience aspect of how this stuff could work. Because if it can work in a city like Miami, it can for sure work in 5, 10, 30, 50 acres of a campground.
You can find them swerving on the sidewalk in different parts of Miami and Fort Lauderdale. These AI-operated, self-driving delivery robots have become quite the topic of conversation for people working and living in those areas. But how do they work? How do they know where to go? And how do people really feel about them? CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us from Brickell tonight and answers all those questions.
Serve Robotics deployed its first fleet of 5 robots in the city of Miami back in February, and now there are hundreds of them roaming the streets and the sidewalks. They're the delivery drivers who don't say much when they drop off your food. But despite their lack of conversational skills, these self-driving robots are taking over the streets of Miami.
I find them a little bit annoying, inconvenient.
I like the robots because if you didn't have the robots, you would have a million bicycle riders from Grubhub.
Serve Robotics is one of the companies providing their AI-operated self-driving delivery robots for service in South Florida.
Everything is fully integrated through the Uber Eats app. Once you get to the checkout page of the merchant, there is a toggle that as the consumer you have the power to turn on or off. If you leave it on, then you have the possibility of getting matched with a robot for your delivery. If you are someone that tips in advance, once you get that robot delivery, you do get that tip refunded to you.
And there's no one operating these robots. They get around on their own.
It is the computer on board, the AI making the driving decisions. So again, it's taking data from all of its different sensors. It's 5 cameras, it's LiDAR. All of these different sensors are providing it that safe path to traverse throughout the city.
These robots operate on the sidewalks, can cross streets, and typically travel 3 to 5 miles per hour. They only deliver to places that are no more than 1.25 miles from the restaurant. Merchants like Rice Mediterranean say the robots have boosted their business substantially.
It's a lot, more than 100 orders daily.
More than 100 daily?
Yes. The robot is easy. Don't talk. Give her the food and they take the food.
Once the merchant loads the food into the robot, the door locks and it's on its way to its destination. The person who orders it gets a notification on their phone to unlock it. You press the button on the robot and then dinner is served. Got my dinner for tonight! Yay! And it's so warm. The Serve robots operate off an 18-hour battery, and when you see them congregated together, they're still on the clock. When you see these robots just hanging out at the corner of a street, just know they aren't stuck, they're idle. They work for 12 hours a day, and they're just waiting to get the call for their next delivery. They're the delivery drivers of the future, but they're here today, despite mixed feelings about their existence.
They congest the sidewalk.
I like them. I don't think they've gotten in the way. The more robotic and new age we get, that's just what it's going to be.
And if these robots do get stuck, there is an operator who is alerted to help them get out of that situation. And to learn more about these robots, you can check out this story on our website, cbsmiami.com.
So again, just looking at technology like this that's being covered and being deployed and actually used in cities and thinking, how can I use, maybe not Serve Robotics, maybe that company does it, but I remember being at IAAPA in Orlando 3-4 years ago now, and they had a company that had all-terrain tires on their, wheels on their delivery robots just like this. And I went up to them and I said, have you ever considered working at campgrounds before? And she's like, no, I never thought of that, but like, it could theoretically go over dirt and sticks and small stones and things like that. And so there's an opportunity here for, like, there's obviously logistics to work out. Who actually takes the goods from your store and puts them in the robot? That's a time chunk too, right? But if you can figure out the logistics of that, then anybody could theoretically order some of this stuff, 24/7 if you can figure out how to get it in there with package lockers or things like that. So there's all kinds of ways that you can expand the ways that you can get ancillary revenue, that you can get more convenience to people, that you can allow them to order things more frequently and more often through QR codes in their cabins and stuff like that. So that's what we want to keep exploring here. Just different ways to think differently at your property. And then the last one I have for you here is from China, but this is actually something that is top of mind here in the United States and several other countries around the world too. And that is what most people would assume is the crazy concept of flying cars. But let's take a look at this video first, and then we'll talk about a little bit about where it is in the United States and how close it is.
It's a world first, a mass production line for personal flying vehicles. The land aircraft carrier, Arridge's modular land air system, combines a sleek electric SUV with a detachable flying vehicle that takes off and lands vertically. The company says this factory in Guangzhou will one day be capable of manufacturing 10,000 flying vehicles per year, thanks to its highly automated robotic systems. Techniques adapted from electric car manufacturing, but pushed to aviation-grade precision.
At the orange area over there, you can see our robot performing automated riveting. Traditional aircraft manufacturing has much lower production volumes compared to the automotive industry. But since we plan to produce 10,000 aircraft a year, one every half hour, automation becomes a necessity rather than an option.
In October, the land aircraft carrier was tested outside China for the first time, taking off in Dubai, where the company has announced 600 confirmed orders across the Gulf region, with deliveries planned by 2027. The vehicle is expected to cost around $280,000 US.
The whole UAE or GCC area has been, over the last decades, embracing new technology, especially advanced air mobilities. So I think this mindset is very important for the product's success. Secondly, it has the right environment like application scenarios, use cases, and of course, the large affluent customer base.
And as Arridge scales up production at home, parent company Xpeng is betting big that the future of mobility won't just be electric. It will be airborne. Jen Copestake, CGTN.
So, if you've never seen anything like this before, you thought this was 10 years in the future, probably. But this is happening in the United States. There are several companies. Joby Aviation is a big one. Archer Aviation is another one that have got their vehicles in, and these are publicly traded companies on the stock market that have big investors. Some of them have backers from the major airlines like Delta Airlines and American and United. And these companies are here, and they're in the early stages or midway through, in some cases, the FAA approval process. And so from our perspective, the way we look at this from outdoor hospitality is this is when it's at scale, and that's still admittedly 5-10 years away, right? But when it's at scale, and you can take a taxi from a busy city like New York or Los Angeles or Chicago or Dallas or Houston or wherever, and you can actually take one of these taxis, lift off from your apartment or a nearby building or whatever else, and fly like an Uber, but fly 20 minutes outside the city. But that 20 minutes of flying gets you an hour and a half or 2 hours outside the city. Then all of a sudden you can go camping with much greater ease if you don't have a car, or you don't want to fight the traffic, or you don't have the time to go back and forth. And that allows you to get to that outdoor experience much more quickly. So I think there's going to be quite the interesting concept of some people in the outdoor hospitality space who take advantage of this, especially with things like, take an island that you'd normally have to build a road to, and utilities and infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. You no longer have to build the road. You no longer have to build the roads for in this case, you're not talking about RVs, but the glamping experiences that you could build here with just a landing pad and allowing people to come in and truly experience nature through solar panels or composting or off-grid or whatever else you want to do is pretty insane to think about. So that piece alone, but also just getting even to the campgrounds, just putting something, obviously RV isn't a play here, but your cabin rentals and glamping units at your campground, getting those people outside the city, marketing to them, being an early adopter of this, I think, is something really interesting. So, all right, I'm going to invite a couple people up here to the stage and see if this works. today. Invite a couple, just pick 3 random people out of here and see if they want to participate in the conversation. But I've used this little like call the stage thing here, so everybody should be able to turn on their audio if they want to talk. If not, then raise your hand and we'll invite you to the actual main stage, and we'll see if we can get you on here talking. But if you have questions, you can either verbalize those, put them in the chat, anything else like that. Good morning, Terry. From Hidden Valley RV Park near San Antonio, Texas. And we just called out some cities in Texas as well. So hopefully you guys have some questions for me that I can help you answer. The whole idea here is to be collaborative with each other. And if there's no questions, then we can kind of just go through a couple things that I have to show you guys the potentials and possibilities of artificial intelligence and what you can do with it at your property. So while we wait for those questions to come in, I think we'll just jump right into that. So I'm going to use Claude for my demo today. This is something that I've switched to recently. I've been using Claude for a long time, but officially, I've always been kind of that person who goes back to ChatGPT. And for most of you, there's no need for you to switch from ChatGPT. They're mostly the same thing. Claude is owned by, I had somebody ask me that on a call this morning. Claude is owned by Anthropic. ChatGPT is owned by OpenAI, and Google is owned by, well, I'm flipping those around, aren't I? Gemini is owned by Google. So those are the 3 major ones you need to pay attention to. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of other AI companies that do not just chat, but video and photos and voice and endless things that you can take advantage of for your business that we will, I'm sure, get to in 2026 on this podcast with some of the things that you can do, or this live together that you can do. But for now, I just want to give you some interesting practical examples that you can take away tomorrow and use in your business. And then we'll just keep an eye on those questions over there. Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Do you have a question or anything you want to tell us? Like, what's something interesting you've done with AI?
I ask it lots of questions, and I most recently put together a loyalty program.
Oh, nice.
And I was so impressed. I mean, not that I couldn't have done it myself, but wow, I call her a she just gave me so many ideas, and I'm really looking forward to putting it all together. Marketing ideas, signage, I mean, just everything.
Yeah, it's almost endless, isn't it? And and like for the things that you think you have experienced and witnessed and you can come up with yourself, like it's just not only is it just faster, but it comes up with those ideas that like, yeah, maybe you would have had if you sat there and stared at a computer or a Word document for hours or days or weeks. But even for me, like it's so just being so involved in AI, there's so many things that it comes up with me on a daily basis that I'm like, wow, I didn't think about that, or that's a new perspective on things.
Do you have lots of different AIs, or do you primarily stick with 2 or 3?
Like it depends on the use case. So like for the majority of what I do is like a chat bot, like you do, like either ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. Those are the 3 big ones. But if I want to create more advanced things, like if I want to do presentations, there's software I use called Gamma, which helps me create presentations. If I want to create music, then there's like I have actually Insider Perks has a music album I put out that I did entirely with AI. I built it on a platform called Suno, Suno, and then I distributed it. It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube Music, it's on everywhere. Not because I think it's going to make a difference, but like, who knows where the world, like maybe one day the AI will know that Terry owns a campground and it'll be like, hey, this is a Spotify playlist you should check out because it's about campgrounds, right? And then maybe you become a marketing, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But those things are interesting to me. So just experimenting. If it's voice, then I use things like 11 Labs. But there's all kinds of, the scope of AI is so massive that I don't think people quite get the impact on like the things that you do every day, but also the ways, and I don't want to turn this negative at all, but the ways that it's going to impact society and change society in a few years. There's a one quick anecdote that I'd love to share with everybody that recently brought up, like April of 2025. There was a team from the University of Zurich in Switzerland that deployed a bunch of AI chatbots or AI bots agents based on last year's models, so 2024, and they put them in this Reddit thread called Change My View. And the entire purpose of the thread is to change people's ideas or minds on religion, on politics, on really controversial stuff that they're really stuck in their ways on. And so when you do that successfully as a human, or when, as a human, then they give you this badge in there that signifies that you've done that. So there's a way to keep track of how persuasive you are or aren't. So the University of Zurich built a bunch of AI agents and set them loose in here without Reddit's permission. And they disclosed this in April of 2025. And the AI agents were in the 99th percentile of convincing people to change their minds. Way, 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 way more persuasive than humans. And so what does that mean for democracy when tens of millions of AI chatbots who you think might be human can convince us to change our perspectives? I'm not sure, but it's
Don't
interesting.
tell the politicians.
Yeah. Welcome, Randy. Do you want to get in on the political discussion, or do you have something else?
Excuse me?
Do you want to get in on the discussion of persuasion we were having, or I don't know if you caught that?
I did. I was actually just configuring my browser to allow my camera and my mic, so I've been having my little tech challenge here this morning. No, I mean,
So what do you got?
as always, I love the conversation. I mean, on this end, and Brian, I shared a little bit with you. I've been using GPT as my virtual buddy because just by clicking on the microphone, I'm just having conversations with it, right? So I've been building for my particular company with its real estate brokerage and developing park models and modular homes and things of that nature. So when I'm looking for different land criteria or existing RV resorts that are on the market that might fit a development profile, I just had a conversation with GPT and said, I'd like to have these criteria, these 20 regions in Texas. And astonishingly, it would ask the questions I didn't think to ask. So it's giving me all this cool stuff. And I'm thinking, great. And they say, would you like me to include such and such? Yeah, I'd like that. That'd be great. Thank you. I'm just literally having a conversation, right? I'm not even using my keyboard. So just by having this dialogue for a little bit of time, it spat out this amazing search vessel that I have now that I use daily that saves me dozens of hours every week. I took it one step further and said, please produce all of the background code and the prompts I need to put into a program called Base 44 to build an app using AI. Here comes 9 pages of code and prompts and whatnot. I copy and paste it, and I've got an app. And I have it sending me emails every morning with updates on target geographic areas. So this is the kind of stuff that you think about, say, wouldn't it be nice someday? And literally just by having a conversation with my computer, here's my assistant. And it's doing the work that, Terry, to your point, you could do it if you had the time and knew what to ask and what have you. The big thing is knowing what to ask of AI as it's learning from you what it is that you want. But the more and more you do that, the more personal it gets. And it says things like, based on your background in outdoor hospitality and your position as a broker and as a developer and things of that nature, here's some things you might want to consider. Would you like me to add? I'd love it. The productivity is just off the charts. It's ridiculous.
How do you find it is for research for you, Randy? And I know there's a reason I'm asking that question, right? Because you were talking specifically about properties. I think it works really well for like deep research for text and citations and things like that. But what I think ChatGPT for me still struggles with, and even Claude and to a certain extent Gemini, is actually like opening the browser and looking for the things that are always accurate, like researching the actual properties and pulling the actual data. Do you find that?
So here's what I found. It's a great question. So initially, I found that it was limited in what it was providing, but it wasn't GPT's fault. It was mine for not giving it very specific commands about what it is I'm looking for. What I found, and I've played with different platforms, I just happen to default back to GPT because it's learned the most about me, and therefore it's more intuitive for me. What I found is when I phrased the questions properly and said, I'm actually looking for this specifically, now I'm getting this when the body of data returns, I can download the Excel spreadsheet, and I've got latitude, longitude, current zoning, utility status. I have it rating each acquisition prospect based on ability to get in permits and entitlement, local zoning authority, who it is, how they're the listing website, how many acres, on water, off water, proximity to the nearest hospital. I mean, just a gaggle of material. So I have found that it is scraping those sites that are out there, listing websites, very effectively. But that's not because it was natively aware of how to do it. I had to kind of say, but I actually need this. Then it would say, well, since you need that, how about this? Again, a conversation.
Have you ever used agent mode and seen the difference between that and the regular?
It's funny you mentioned it because it's something I want to play with this week. So I have not yet.
That's kind of one of the reasons I brought it up. Let me see if I can share my screen to show you guys something. Welcome, Rebecca. How are you?
Good. How are you? Can
I'm
you hear
good.
me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Oh,
Can you hear us?
perfect. Yes, I can. I'm sorry. I was working out. I was trying to squeeze that in while I was watching you. So
Totally fine. I appreciate you being here.
wonderful. Thank you.
I want to hear your thoughts on what you're doing with AI in a second. I was just going to share this with Randy. We use this, or I use this a lot, Randy. This is Manus. This is a Chinese AI, so it depends on how you feel about China if you want to do that. But I feel like the U.S. government knows everything I'm doing anyway, and China probably cares less about what I'm doing than the U.S. government. So, but this one is really interesting because you can go out and say, like, go out and research. Give me a prompt, Randy, that you would put in there.
Current land under 10 acres, 40-mile proximity to Tyler, Texas.
All right. So then the difference between this and everything else is that this will not only think for an answer and go out and research, it will actually use browsers and tools. And you can see, so agent mode does this a little bit, right? But you can see all the sites that it's doing. You can watch it go to browse the internet and open up tabs, and you can see what it's pulling in the data that it's pulling from.
Shows its work.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
whereas ChatGPT and everything else will answer a question once, this thing, like, I've had this thing think for 20, 30 minutes for me before and browse pages. And so I find that for specific use cases, you don't need it for everything, that this is a really interesting way to extract data, and then it'll create spreadsheets and do everything else that ChatGPT will.
Well, that's
You call it Mantis? Mantis, you said? Manus.
Manus.
Okay.
And again, it's a Chinese model, but it's a really kind of innovative company that, like, has a bunch of connectors and tools and all kinds of advanced stuff we won't get into today, but you can see what it's doing. We'll let it play here. But while we do that, Rebecca, what have you done with AI recently?
Well, recently I'll tell you what, I'm almost ready to write an article on this because I feel like we are, as great as it is, I came from the era that I prided myself in being able to write out great resumes and great everything. And now I don't think I could go without this.
Yeah, you and me both.
I mean, honestly, I really feel like it's a great thing, but then I sometimes feel like we're dumbifying ourselves. I use it every single day. I hate to say that. I'll even use it just to even fact check to make sure that my writing sounds on a professional tone versus me just verbalizing, talking to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been lots of studies out there that say, like, it's dumbing down people, but I don't think that's true for certain people. I think the people who are already creative thinkers, who are already people who are critical thinking, are going to just thrive in this environment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Maybe I should look at it that way instead of feeling like I'm dummy.
No, you're not. Like, I mean, because you still have to, just like Randy was explaining, right? You have to come up with those prompts. You have to come up with the things that you want it to look for. You have to teach it. You have to, like, that creative direction of how to steer it, even as something as simple as creating an image, right?
Yes.
Has to be thought about through 10, 20, 30 steps sometimes of how do I get to just the one prompt. So I think it makes you more creative if you were already creative. If you were already willing to be lazy, it's going to make you more lazy, for sure. That's what the data is showing, right? But there's so few people on the planet. I think I would put it at like less than 10% who can really critical think on a day-to-day basis. not because they can't, but because they were never taught how to, or haven't
Right.
done it in their jobs, right?
Oh, very much so. And like Randy said, I've seen it work for me so much better now that I know how it wants me to prompt. And you can even ask it. I call her Sage. I use Chat GPT. So I'm just like, I call it a female.
Like
Sorry,
Sage,
guys.
that's a good name.
Yeah, Sage. So, well, she helped me create it as well. Isn't that pretty bad?
Yeah, does yours have a name, Terry?
No, just
her?
it's a she.
I think it's just a real. So, anyways, I mean, I even asked ChatGPT, how do I ask you this? How am I going to get the best answer from you? And that really, it helped. I mean, she even told me what I should do and how detailed. It was incredible.
Do you all say thank you after you get a response?
Absolutely.
Me too.
You don't want to be the first person it kills when it becomes actually able to do that. Right?
Exactly. I'm trying to be polite. You never know what's on the other end of that.
Right.
So, no, it's helped me program. I mean, I know a tiny bit of programming, but this makes me feel like a whiz. I have absolutely taken so much of coding and put it into my website where I would have never been able to do that before.
You know, Rebecca, same on this end. For this thing I was describing a little bit earlier, it's like in this base 44 I've been using to build this app. It's very much a lot like GPT in that I just have a conversation with base 44 and say, you know what, I'd actually like to see nearest hospital and distance from the subject property. Sure, we can look at this version now. It's now going to pull that from all the data that's in the database right now. I'm like talking to my buddy, right?
Sure.
But, you know, as far as the dumbing down or the making you better, I mean, any tool is inert and neutral is what you bring to it or take from it, right? So those that are looking for the easy path and say, write all my LinkedIn posts because they don't want to participate and let the machine do it. Well, there's a consequence for doing that, right? And there is a dumbing down. And also the LinkedIn algorithms don't love AI written content. It can kind of spy that, and it penalizes you on LinkedIn. But if you use it as it's supposed to be, or at least what I would consider it's supposed to be, how do I get better at what I do? By you doing things that I'm not able to do or don't have the time to do, man, my productivity is just exponentially increased. So if anything, it's making me one hell of a lot smarter and a lot less dumb.
I'm going to go with that because I've been trying to tell myself, yes, it is. You're right. I mean, we would be ridiculous if we did not take advantage of this. You know, I can stand there and say, oh my gosh, I'm refusing to add this to my life. You know, I want to be able to keep it. But if you refuse AI, I really would advise to rethink that because it is a phenomenal tool.
Yeah, people are just scared about it, I think.
Yeah.
Like and there's valid reasons to be scared, to be clear, right? But I think that they're just nervous about what it can do, what it can't do, and they've heard it lies, they've heard it hallucinates, they've heard the opposite of, you know, it's unhelpful, or like as many people have done, they go to it and they try it one time and they're like, that stunk, and they don't learn the prompting like Randy did, and they don't learn how to refine it. And so I think that's the perception they get, and they never come back to it.
Brian, didn't you either share or write a post recently about a company whose staff used AI and they were putting company reports and things into AI in order to extrapolate other information without the company's permission? And that it then became part of Chat GPT or Claude, whatever, forever and ever.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen. Like, and it is something to take in consideration with proprietary data, especially your financials, P&Ls, stuff like that. Like the ultimate dream scenario for that is, and we have a guy coming on Outwired tomorrow who may talk about this. His name is Ari. He runs a really nice glamping resort in Vermont. It's $2,500 a night, but he has got a background. He went to MIT and works for a big AI consulting company. He's the CTO. But he's done this at his property. He's created his own private LLM, like his own private ChatGPT. And so it's not ChatGPT, but it's all isolated to him. And so anything he puts in it only stays with him and doesn't go to the internet or the training data or anything else like that. That's the way it should work in an ideal world. But for 99.9% of people who aren't me or Ari, it's not going to work like that.
Maybe he just used AI to create it.
He might have. Yeah,
Create
I
the
mean,
industrial LLM.
it's not. I say it's not hard, right? Like it's not for me. Like if you know the thinking piece of it and you can follow the steps and you have the patience, you can do anything with AI.
Right.
It's just whether
I
you
also
persevere.
I also notice I have several businesses, so it knows. I mean, that's where it kind of gets a little scary because it'll say, "Oh, Rebecca, are you working on this business or are you working on this business now?"
Yeah, it's the memory feature of it. Yeah.
It does. It's got an incredible memory feature. It gets to know you. It gets to know your business. It gets to know everything if you know how to prompt it.
Rebecca, that's the thing that's been so astonishing to me is, and mind you, I'm sub-novice, right? I mean, I will never be as evolved as Brian is. Brian is the leader in this industry and this stuff and just the absolute guru. I'll never be that or aspire to that. But it's interesting because what you just mentioned has been something that was a real awakening thing for me because I'm asking for raw data, absent opinion, avoid opinion pieces, blah, 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 based on your internal resources, data, blah, 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 whatever like that. They'll come back saying, like literally, what I discovered is this applies to your brokerage in this way. Would you like to prepare an analysis for that? Right. Yeah, sure. I think we could go that way.
While you're at it.
The next question is because you're in the accommodations business, there's some overlap here. I can prepare a chart if you'd like. Just choose A, B, C, or D with 1, 2, 3, or 4. And it's like, yeah, I'm there. Let's do that too.
It's crazy.
But I find myself though sometimes almost just like when the internet first came out. Boy, am I dating myself. When it first came out, I would sit there and all of a sudden I'd say, "Oh my God, it's been 3 hours. Seriously?" I've been on this thing for that long because it just keeps like what you said, Randy, it just keeps asking you, getting you even deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
But at least it's useful output versus social media, right?
What's that, Brian?
At least you're getting useful output out of it instead of just scrolling endlessly on social media where it's like,
absolutely. I'm not a social. Yeah, exactly. No, it's very knowledgeable. I enjoy spending my time with Sage.
Terry, how did you come up with your loyalty program?
You mean, how did I prompt it?
Yeah. How did you get to?
I first, over time have explained everything about my park, our focuses and, the outdoors and a little bit of digital detox kind of a thing, but the availability of those things as well. And then the kind of clientele that I have. And after giving that, then I asked for a name, some specific perks that they might suggest. And then after I got that, I was so impressed and I picked a name and told her I was going to go with that name. And she said, "Okay, well, let me get you some marketing info and signage and some code to put on your website." I mean, it was so thorough, things that I wouldn't have thought of right away,
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the perks you ended up with, if you don't mind sharing?
The kind of perks?
Yeah, like what's in the loyalty program if we stay with you like 2, 5, 10, 20 times?
So being able to cancel for any reason.
Okay.
Next year, advanced booking.
Mm-hmm.
And after 5 stays, there would be a gift of some sort. And that may not be advertised, but just something that I would do.
Privately, yeah.
And then I always give a local RVers guide when people come in, but it would be something that I would include as a perk as well. And then, if they have a booking anniversary or something that I could keep on record, then I could send them an anniversary email or text each time. And just different events and possibly too early check-in, late checkout, as long as the availability is there.
What about things like site upgrades and stuff? I don't know if you have different types of sites,
I
but
do that, but I have not put it on there, and I'm gonna write it right now.
I remember this is probably, I'm going to date myself a little bit, but 2012, 2013, I remember working with the KOA Owners Association. I think Diane King was the president back then. She owned Springfield Route 66 KOA in Missouri. And I remember, this is obviously long before AI, but I remember looking at a loyalty program like KOA's and saying, it's a decent loyalty program. You pay $30 for it, you get a bunch of discounts, but why isn't it a real loyalty program? And I built this. I've tried to find it in email and I can't find it. I know I sent it to her at some point, but I built a whole loyalty program for KOA that obviously went nowhere, right? And didn't even go past probably Diane's desk, but had site upgrades and loyalty features and stuff like that. And it's if you can put the thought and time into it, and now you for sure can with AI, it's a really nice way to recognize people who stay with you and come back.
Mm-hmm. Mine would be free.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, most of them should be free. I think. Yeah. I'm not sure. What's the model behind that, Randy? Do you have a thought of that? What's the model behind charging for a loyalty program?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I don't think that's indicative of what outdoor hospitality is all about. We're obsessed with being a service provider, providing great accommodations, a great experience. So the most frictionless kind of interface you can have for loyalty or rewards ought to be intuitive, friendly, free, available to build stickiness, have them continue to come back. It's an extension of hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way and then it's also let's be honest, the reason loyalty programs were created in many places like grocery stores and stuff was to collect data.
Mm-hmm.
Get your email address and your phone number and your, right? And so there's a benefit to that I think you kind of undercut yourself charging for it. Yeah, too. So.
By the way, quick footnote, Terry, you and I have been connected on LinkedIn since I think about 2010 or something like that. It's so great to actually have a conversation with you.
Oh, thank you. You too.
What else
Sorry.
have you guys? No, that's okay. What else have you guys done that's interesting with AI?
I can step out so somebody else can come in and I'll finish my workout if that's okay. I'm going to still listen to you all.
Yeah, you're welcome to if you want
Would that
to.
be okay? I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yes, you too. Hopefully talk soon again.
You bet.
Thanks, Rebecca.
All right. I'll keep listening. Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
I'm watching this in the background. It's very cool. So I'm kind of sold on Manus right now. And just a little bit more of a footnote. Because I've been doing this for a long time, I know specifically what I'm looking for. And I had to tell GPT, make sure to include these sites. I just wanted to go for overkill, right? Because some of the sites are not very ubiquitous. They're not the first ones to show up, but they're a volume of great information. So be sure to include. But what I love about what I'm seeing here is seeing that sidebar of the actual site, because that might prompt me to say, actually, they're featuring something in their listing that I hadn't thought about, but that's good. So I love seeing that side-by-side work window happening.
Yeah, you can interrupt it too. You don't have to wait for it to finish.
Super cool.
Yeah, and then look, did you see what it built?
Yeah.
I had it build a website. So now you can browse the properties and you can sort by price range and you can uncheck and it literally just built this whole website with Google Maps and the pricing and the and how many minutes have we been on this call?
Yeah, 10, 15.
So
how long will it take me to build that? It'll never happen.
And let's see, I don't know what market stats is, but maybe this isn't working. We'll see. But yeah, anyway, that piece isn't, no statistics available. Well, whatever. So yeah, just really interesting the kind of stuff that you can do and see with AI. I have one example here if you guys want to do it. That's on my list here for the last couple minutes. It was to show you guys how to do an upsell package builder. And I'm in Claude here. And I should show you this too. I built this. I don't know. Did I show you this, Randy? I think I showed this on the other call.
I think so.
Mark's call. I built the RV parking thing, Terry, where you can just direct your RV. It's like a one shot. I didn't really do a good job with it, but there's somebody there barking, and then you are telling you how to do directions. and then you just bring it forward into the parking spot and then stop, and then you win and get points. So, but all kinds of interesting things. So let's do a new chat here. Let's do an upsell package builder. Does that interest anybody?
Absolutely.
Pick someone else? So one of the interesting things here is like ancillary revenue, as you know, Randy, you ran a management company for umpteen years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is figure out ways that I can sell more, package more together. Loyalty programs are one of those things. But so let's just pick a park randomly here. We'll go over to Google Maps. Randy, pick a state.
Texas.
All right, we're going to Texas. Terry, pick somewhere that's not your city. Pick somewhere small.
Austin or.
Let's go. All right, here's Austin. All right, and then we'll do RV park. All right, pick one, Randy, from something on your screen over here.
Let's go for looking for one with which I may have some familiarity. Let's do Mystic Quarry.
Mystic Quarry. All right. All right. So we'll go here. I'm just going to visit the site. I wanted to pull this up here. So we'll grab this, and then I'm going to come back over here to Claude. We're just going to research and learn everything you can about Mystic Quarry. All right. So I'm just using Opus for this, but again, like you can use Gemini, you can use ChatGPT. You just have to make sure you're on one of the thinking areas. And so like if you're in ChatGPT, for those of you who are watching this, and use ChatGPT primarily, like you can, if you're in a $20 a month plan, which as we've heard from many people on this call, it's for sure worth it, then you'll be able to go up here in the top left corner and switch from this auto router is very, very terrible in ChatGPT. But if you go to thinking, then it can do a lot better. And then I think this is on the $20 a month plan. Yeah, it must be, because I used to have the $200 a month plan. And I have now standard and extended. If you have the more expensive one, you can customize it even more, but I got rid of mine. So just make sure you're on one of those thinking modes. I think in Gemini over here, if you go to Gemini and you're looking at it here, you can control thinking right down here. Fast and thinking. And I think you have that on the $20 a month plan. I'm not sure. I'm on the really expensive one on this one. And then here, down here, you have a lot of other tools too. So deep research helps you with researching the internet, thinking for a long time. This will create videos. This creates images. This is like a canvas, this guided learning. And then the deep think is the new one that came out that's even more thinking. So we'll pop back into Claude here and see what we got. So we have a complete resort profile of Mystic Quarry. Here's our location, phone number, etc. History, ownership, and timeline. Is that correct, Randy? If you're familiar with it.
Is correct. I was looking for the most recent.
I used to know Jim Trent, so I knew him. Mystic Quarry in May of 2017. That sounds good because Jim did that, right? Property was acquired by out-of-state buyers with a trailing 12 months revenue at 1.8 million. Revenues dropped significantly due to management oversight. Yeah, I wonder where it got that. Drought affecting water levels and challenges.
I wouldn't want to be that manager.
Property was listed for sale. Is now current. I wonder if that's actually current. Monica Garcia serves as the general manager. But it broke down accommodations, gave me accommodations, amenities, features, unique services, locations and nearby attractions, awards and recognition, target demographics, pricing, like just everything, right? I wanted to, so the goal of me doing that first was to show the AI like what this property is so I can build off of it so it doesn't have to go, right? So then you can say like, I want you to generate 10 upsell packages like romance, adventure, family, etc., with pricing, rationale, marketing copy, and everything else I would need to deploy. Include arguments for and against this each one. And so I put a couple things in here, right? Obviously, a number of what I want. So I'm being specific. I want 10. You could put 5. You could not put a number. I've kind of given it an idea of like where I want to go with it, but you don't have to do that. And then what I want from the output, like why is the pricing the way you want? What's the marketing copy I need? And then everything else I would need to deploy is kind of a catch-all for like the things I'm not thinking of that AI always puts. And then I always like to put this, include arguments for and against each one so I can see the different perspectives of everything. It's less important probably in an upsell package than it would be anywhere else.
I think I just thought of 5 follow-up prompts. I can't wait to see what comes.
Well, and then the other thing is as we wait for this, like if you're in ChatGPT 2, a lot of people don't realize that you can go into personalization and you can actually tell it how to respond to you. So for me, I have like never lie, make up the truth, be honest, don't embellish answers. When you don't know, say you don't know, and then always use the Socratic method, which ends up asking me follow-up questions of things I never would have thought to ask before. So I put some of that in Claude, but I haven't done it all yet. And then this is something I have to figure out too. Like Claude seems to be defaulting to like coding things when it doesn't need to code things. So I'm going to stop this. And I'm going to go back up and just say, I just want plain text printed out. Copy paste. I think it's a setting that I probably was playing around with and forgot to turn off. But I've noticed it like generates a bunch of code and then does something with it. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Like a doc or something. There we go. So package 1, Starlight Romance Package. Designed for couples seeking a romantic hill country escape, targets anniversary celebrations, honeymoons, proposals, spontaneous romantic getaways. Make that a little bit bigger. Best paired with TP accommodations. Package includes a bottle of Texas Hill Country wine, chocolate-covered strawberries or local artisan chocolates, 2 Mystic Quarry logo wine glasses to take home, reserve private hot tub session for 2 hours, late checkout until 1 p.m., and then it gives all the opportunity costs. I'm just not reading. Fresh flowers and accommodation upon arrival, and flameless candles for ambiance. Reusable initial cost $10. Package price $129. Estimated hard cost $70 to $85. Gross margin 34 to 46%. The $129 price point hits the psychological threshold below $150. It feels like a reasonable splurge for a special occasion. Couples booking romantic getaways have demonstrated willingness to spend it on experience enhancement. The perceived value easily exceeds $150 when itemized, creating a value perception gap that drives purchases. Hot tub reservations alone often run $50 to $75 at comparable resorts. I don't know if that's true, but we should look. I would be interested to look into that. I don't know how many people actually have hot tubs that are dedicated for reservations. Marketing copy, headline, fall in love all over again under the Texas stars. I like that.
Oh, I like that.
Transform your Mystic Quarry escape into unforgettable romantic retreat. I'm just reading this out for people who we're going to put this as an audio too. The Starlight Romance Package welcomes you with a bottle of award-winning Texas Hill Country wine, artisan chocolates, and fresh flowers waiting for in your private hideaway. As evening falls, slip away to your reserved private hot tub session where you can soak beneath a canopy of stars with no one else around. Sleep in the next morning with late checkout and keep the keepsake wine glasses as a reminder of your time together in the hill country. There's your booking prompt, email subject lines, arguments for this package, arguments against, and then operational notes, partner with a winery for consistent supply and potential co-marketing, train housekeeping on romantic setup standards, block hot tub time slots. All right, and then package 2, we have, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but River Rat Adventure Package targets active travelers and families wanting hassle-free river experiences, tube rentals, shuttle transportation, waterproof phone pouch, cooler tube rental, post-float snack pack, Mystic Quarry dry bag. Skip the line, grab a tube, and float like a local. This is good stuff.
It's cute.
Arguments for and against. Rockstar Concert Package capitalizes on proximity to Whitewater Amphitheater, one of Texas's premier outdoor venues. Targets concert goers who want convenience and a place to stay after the show. Round trip shuttle, reserve shuttle pickup time, pre-concert picnic dinner, cooler with ice and bottled water for the walk, late night snack basket waiting in room for post-concert hunger, and late checkout next morning. The best seat in the house is half a mile away.
Good headlines.
Yeah, I like Claude. Package 4 is Little Explorers Family Package. Targets families with children under 12 seeking structured activities and hassle-free vacation planning. Leverages existing amenities while adding kid-focused extras. Mystic Query Junior Explorer Kit. 1 hour golf cart rental, s'mores kit, complimentary pool toys, kids eat free 1 meal from camp store snacks. That's probably not healthy, but okay. Glow sticks and flashlights for evening adventures. Where did I lose that at? Junior Ranger certificate signed by staff upon completion. Turn your kids into Junior Rangers and give yourself a break. Is that it? Oh, I asked for 10, didn't I? Hill Country Wine Trail package is there. We have...
We have time for a follow-up prompt, Brian?
Probably. With a couple minutes. Pampered pause. Yeah. What do you want for follow-up
What you
prompt?
thinking, Randy?
Who else within my competitive market set, i.e. 30-mile radius, offers a similar upsell package to what you've advocated here and provide a direct link to that property's website?
A 30 miles offers a similar package set?
Similar upsell package to what you've recommended. Provide a
But
link.
if they do, give me a link to their website, but also describe the package or upsell and why it's
bingo.
No one else does explain why I could easily take their business.
Prepare, compare, and contrast matrix.
So we'll see what this does. Yeah, it's all about those follow-up prompts. So like for me, if you put the Socratic method in there, maybe it says like, well, what similar packages are being offered by competitors nearby? Here's Jellystone Hill Country, Canyon Lake it's researching.
In a practical sense, that's extremely valuable because it's provided a very terrific upsell package thing. But when the inquiry stops there, that can be a problem because unless you know that if somebody else is doing something similar and they're $20 cheaper, $50 cheaper, you got to know that. If nobody's doing it at all, you've got some price flexibility. So I mean, really understanding not just for my property, but how do I fit within the competitive market set is aces.
So I am only using Claude and ChatGPT, a few others as well, but just the free packages. Are you
I would
saying
encourage you to upgrade.
that
Yeah.
I should upgrade?
Yeah.
And just
I would choose Claude if I had to choose one.
really?
Yeah.
I'd lobby
Like
for
right
$20.
now.
I'd lobby for $20 for GPT 5.1. But having said that, I haven't
They're
played with
both
Claude
good.
nearly as much.
Yeah, they're both good. Like you're not going to notice a big difference. This thing is
So what's the
compacting its
difference
conversation.
between the paid and the unpaid?
You get access to more limits, more tools, better models. Depends on which one we're talking about, right?
Speed.
The control over the thinking, stuff like that.
Isn't speed also part of that, Brian?
Is which one?
Speed, if you upgrade to like the $20 GPT
I don't
5.1.
think it does anything faster, no. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I've just been so impressed with the free. I didn't even think about upgrading.
I mean, well, think about everything that it's done for you from a business perspective, right? Isn't that worth $20 a month?
Well,
So that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like you have to have value and use case out of it. Not everybody is we're not gonna say to everybody automatically go to the $20 a month. But if they've done extensive things like you have with loyalty programs and stuff like that, then for sure you should. I don't know.
In my case in particular, it saves thousands of dollars to consultants, weeks off of time frames and everything else, and reiterations. And no, that's not what I was looking for. Let's do this. Go back in production queue, and for $20 a month, I can just say, nope, that's not it. Do this. Okay, thank you.
I'll try this again. I opened up a new window. It got stuck on like compressing our conversation or something. So we'll see if this works, and then we'll head off.
Didn't mean to be a troublemaker, Brian.
No, it's fine. Like, I mean, this is good use cases. That's what we're here for, right? So, but for
It's
you
all
guys and
experiential.
for Rebecca and everybody else who's listening and, you know, to the show, please invite your friends, tell your people about this. The more people we have on here, the more we can share knowledge and resources with each other, right? So I think it's going to take some time for us to build this for sure, like months and months. And I haven't put a lot of promotional effort into it because I knew we were going to take 2 weeks off for Christmas here and I didn't want to get people started and then break. But yeah, this is what I hope this call will turn into, is people sharing advice with other people instead of me talking all the time. I mean, I'm happy to talk, but like I do enough of that already, I feel like.
I think one of the things that, Brian, as far as adoption is, when people get a glimpse of what you do with this podcast and other things, seeing that this is a collaborative partner in business building will generate that excitement when they see the first tangible evidence that I asked it this, it told me this, I tried it and it worked. The conversion is going to be insane, right? The moment you start making more money or saving more time, you're a convert.
Yeah, it's not going to work. I don't know why it says it's hit maximum length for this conversation. I've never had that problem. I've done like a long thing on Claude, so I don't know what it's doing today, but I'll send you the answer if it does it.
Blame me, buddy.
There's
Did
a
y'all by
vote in
chance
favor of ChatGPT.
did y'all by chance get to tune in to that AI Advantage with Tony Robbins and Dean
I didn't
Graziosi?
no, but I watch a lot of the AI stuff on YouTube for sure.
Oh my goodness. It was so long. It was long. It
What was
was
the
like
number one thing
3
you learned from
days
it?
and 4 hours a day for 3 days.
I signed up for that, Terry, and I was interested, but I just couldn't break off the time commitment. I just wasn't able to
It
do
was
it.
too much. It was too much. And it ended up being like so many of those, there's something they're selling at the end, you know. So,
Well,
but there was a lot of content that I was able to learn from. So, you know, and I didn't watch every second of it, and they did have replays. So I was able to catch it over time.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, the amount of knowledge and information that's out there with this stuff. I mean, like I can sit down for 2 to 4 hours at night after I get done with work and I'll watch these videos. Like my girlfriend's a shift worker, so when she's working and not here at a hospital, then I can look at, oh, here, it actually did it. Direct competitors with similar packages. Jellystone Park, Canyon Lake, literally across the street. What they offer is bear visit, golf cart rental, pool cabana, linen rentals, hammock rentals, VIB fun pass, birthday add-ons. Your comparable package, celebration station, you already offer this, no equivalent. NA yours are free, Little Explorers, celebration station. Why your package is better, theirs is kid-focused only. Your celebration station works for anniversaries. They have
And
no
see,
ram
even
with
that's
couples
golden
packages.
because it didn't talk about hammock rentals, but if I'm sitting at Mystic Quarry saying, God, I've got that whole stand of trees back there. If I can get $10 a hammock too, why not?
Yeah. Winter Texan welcomes, why theirs might win, Jellystone's character, VIP. Camp Finfo, 4 miles away in New Braunfels. They offer golf carts, limo carts, private cabanas, Finfo Fun Pass, hot tub add-on for the Hilltop Coyote cabin only, kayak paddleboard rental, no equivalent here. Starlight Romance, Little Explorers, no equivalent. No equivalent. You already offer this.
And here's what they don't offer. Nice.
What they don't have that you propose: no romance, pets, concerts, wines, tubing, celebration, corporate retreat. Why you could take their business. It's a 450-acre behemoth focused on families with kids. They invested heavily in attractions. They're completely ignoring couples without children, dog owners as a segment versus just allowing dogs, concert goers as a booking trigger, occasions-based marketing, and remote digital wellness market. What nobody within 30 miles is doing: romance anniversary, pet specific, concert shuttle, river rat, tubing, wine trail, winter Texan welcome, corporate retreat, digital detox.
I have that.
Competitive positioning. Can you have that? Sure, I'll send this to you.
No, I have that digital
have that.
detox.
Oh, okay. Are you within 30 miles though of New Braunfels?
Nope.
Okay.
No. Close.
You know, something else about this, Brian, that I think you've written about, we've probably talked about as well, is this completely gives third party or third person removed perspective, because a lot of campground owners don't see the forest for the trees, or they have an unrealistic idea about who they are, who they're not, and what their market is, and they don't really have objectivity. But objectivity via this vehicle to tell you what other people are or are not doing, your competitive advantage. A lot of people don't even know how to ask those questions of themselves and their campground to get the material, and yet here it is in less than 1 hour. You've got competitive advantage, competitive amenity set, competitive packaging, competitive upsell. Know what your competitors are doing, gain some other ideas. I mean,
the question is, can you actually put these in CampSpot or NewBook? I don't know. Can you put packages in CampSpot or NewBook?
Yes.
You can? Okay.
In CampSpot, I know for sure.
All right. Well, let's be respectful of everybody else's time here. We'll wrap up the call for today. But yeah, please, anybody else you want to invite, please do. We'll be back next week, I think, for our last live before we take 2 weeks off for the holidays. But thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Brian. We appreciate you, all that you do.
You're welcome. Thanks. Appreciate you too.
Thank you. Have a great day.